Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by Tap and Barrel Grill, the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, with loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening, if you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride of lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Welcome back to Sports on Tap Detroit Tuesdays. I'm here with Chris Scott. I'm Joe Waddell. Chris was not entirely prepared to open the show.
Unavoidably detained. Sorry. Sorry, I was reading something, an article, and I got caught up, which I think that happens to the best of us.
Yes.
But it's been a minute since you've done an intro, so.
Yeah, I prefer to be prepared for it, but, other than that, yeah.
It's all those times that you'll set me up for something and I'm not ready for it. So there you go.
Payback?
That's payback, yes.
Well deserved.
Anyways, it's It's been 2 weeks since we've done a show, something like that. Yeah, not a whole lot has really happened. In
I was say we don't typically go 2 weeks in between, but there wasn't a lot
Yeah.
going on, and we had a lot going on.
We did
in there, so
yes,
I'm sure everybody knows how that goes around this time of year. You
Yeah.
got some stuff going on. So
Aaron Rodgers did sign with the Steelers,
you did.
which, again, I don't think is going to make them any better than a 500 team.
That was something that I think was not a secret. We all kind of saw it was going to happen. It was a matter of when. I think Aaron Rodgers was just waiting for OTAs to be over with.
Shocking. Yeah.
I think that's what was happening. But other than that, yeah. I mean, not something that we didn't see coming.
No, a big trade happened in baseball. With I know Frank was devastated about it. With Rafael Devers getting traded to the San Francisco Giants for basically a bag of used baseballs.
Yes, but and for all the Tigers fans who are like, why didn't the Tigers do that?
They weren't going to trade him within the American League.
And also, it wouldn't have been the right move for the Tigers. Would not have been the right move for them.
No?
No,
Why?
he's due a shit ton of money. He's not a clubhouse guy. I mean, there's some issues there. He's got what is he? I think he has the most errors.
He's a horrible fielder.
Right. So I mean,
That's why they brought in Alex Bregman, because he's a terrible fucking fielder.
Right. So it wasn't really the best move for them to make. I mean, he's tied up for 10 years, a shit ton of money. I just don't think it would have been the right move for them.
Honestly, I would have been okay with it, especially if you give up nothing for it. I'd have been fine with it because apparently his attitude since he's gone to San Francisco has completely changed. I think this whole clubhouse cancer issue was directed more towards management than anything, because you bring in Alex Bregman, which I get it. Alex Bregman's a good ball player, but dude, he's a better fielder than you. He just is.
Absolutely.
But you're like, no, this is my position. I'm not moving. They're like, no, Bregman's playing third. He's like, all right, fine. He's like, you're gonna DH. Cool. Basically, just after that, put your glove away. Like, you're DHing. That's it. And then when their first baseman gets there, oh, can you play first base? He's like, no. You told me to put my glove away. I see both sides of this. You want to be the good teammate, but you also got to be like, hey, man, this is a principle thing now.
Yeah.
So I think that the whole talk of him being a clubhouse cancer is a bit overblown simply because of that scenario. But from everything I've heard and read about him going to the Giants, he's like, I'll play wherever you want me to play.
See, no, that's a different story. I mean, if that would have been the case, you could have DH'd him, and I don't know. Like I said,
Because he's not playing third base because Matt Chapman's there.
Right.
So he's definitely not playing third base.
Right.
So,
But yeah, I didn't necessarily see that as the right move. Again, with as much money as he's tied up with,
Yeah.
as many years, not a great fielder. You're basically just getting him for the hitter.
which the Tigers need.
Right.
They need
But-
a guy that can.
Doesn't he bat left?
He does.
See, and that's not really what they need. A right-handed bat really is what they need. Yes, any bat would do, I guess. But I look at that team, I feel like they need a right-handed bat. I don't feel they need a left-handed bat.
I just need a bat that can, drive in runs and put
rake.
the ball over the fucking fence. Whether it be right-handed or
Yeah.
left-handed, it doesn't make a difference to me.
I'll say I just, for me, it didn't hit on as much of what I thought they really needed. So I wasn't too upset about them not.
And then you had Scott Harris coming out and it was like, we're going to be pragmatic at the deadline, as coming up to the deadline. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Like, you have the best record in baseball. Like, guys, go for it. And we talked last year, like, you need the foundation and all this nonsense, blah, blah, blah. You literally have the best record in baseball right now. Or one of the best records in baseball. 'Cause I know they lost 2 or 3 against the Reds, which that was a horrible. That just showed. That series showed what you need. Mm-hmm. Like, your bullpen's trash this year.
Their bullpen has.
It's not trash. It's not as good as it was
their
last year.
bullpen has done well.
Right.
It's not as good as it was last
No.
year, and I think that is a need.
Oh, I think it's a big need. Especially in the late innings.
Yeah. Ooh.
You need that, and then you also need, obviously, you need guys that can put runs on the board, But yeah, definitely with all these pitching injuries now, because Jackson Jobe, obviously, he's done for the year and probably next year with Tommy John surgery.
Dennis just chimed in. Thanks for joining, Dennis. He says, breaking news, Perez, 2-run shot to left.
Yes, we seen it.
We did seen it.
We seen it.
While we were talking, we did seen it.
Yes. But yeah, so going back to it, they need some power arms in the back of the bullpen. And I think one or two more bats just to fill out this lineup, I think would be a tremendous help. I just don't want them to be cheap at the deadline, man. Fucking go for it.
Yeah. So here's the only thing
The American League is terrible this year.
Here's the only thing I don't want. I don't want them to mortgage the future on this season. Be aggressive. Be aggressive at the deadline, but don't mortgage your entire minor league system to do it.
I don't want to do it if it's a rental.
Right.
Yeah, that I'm with you. But if you have a guy that's signed for, let's say, the next 3 to 5 years,
I'm okay with that.
and you have to give up some pieces to do it.
Depending, and again, I don't want to mortgage the entire future.
Right.
If you have to give up 1 or 2 guys, okay, I get it.
Because I look at this American League is awful.
But I don't want a rental,
Yeah, no, neither do I.
and I don't want to mortgage the entire future. Of
I mean,
the
if you have to
organization.
give up significant assets for a rental, I don't want to do that, obviously.
Right, if you can give up some,
But if you can give up some like lower level stuff,
if you can give up a bag of chips and a pop for a
like
rental,
if you
great.
give up basically what the Giants gave up to get Rafael Devers,
right,
fine, I'm okay with that because literally they gave up like a bag of used baseballs to get him. And Frank is, like I said, he is not happy with the Red Sox. He is like furious with the Red Sox, which I can't say I blame him.
No.
because the ownership group now with the Red Sox is the Red Sox aren't the diamond anymore.
no,
It's Liverpool. That's what they're more focused on is Liverpool, not the Red Sox anymore. The Red Sox are just like, yeah, well, cool. We have them in our portfolio. It's great, but it's Liverpool that they're focused on. And Red Sox fans, not just him, Red Sox fans in general are like furious about this. Like, sorry,
it happens.
it really does. So.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Anywho, moving on to we have Stanley Cup Final Game 6 tonight,
We do.
which has actually been a really good series, which I think most of us thought it would be, because this rematch from last year, and these are two of the you have to say these are the two best teams in the sport right now, right?
I think so. I would say, yeah.
You know,
The Panthers, defending champions, Edmonton. You know their track record,
yeah,
and who they are. Panthers can lock it up tonight at home,
they can.
and Edmonton has to come out strong.
They have to play. Literally, they got to play the game of their season.
Right.
Like-
I mean, they're going to have to come out strong. They can't come out flat-footed and or on the back of their skate. They just can't. They have to come out. They have to be aggressive.
But you look at it, in this series, that's been one of their biggest, probably their biggest Achilles heel is giving up goals in the first period. Giving up just the first goal. Mm-hmm. Like, they've given up 11 goals in the first period. That's not ideal. I don't
No.
care who you have in goal.
No.
That's not ideal. You don't want to be chasing the game, That's
No. And if that, again, they can't do that. They have to come out.
No.
They have to be aggressive. They have to get the first goal. They cannot, even if they go in after the first period tied, nothing.
No, that's huge.
Like, you cannot give up.
If they go into the intermission either up 1-0 or tied at zeros,
Right.
even tied 1-1.
That's big. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Right.
You cannot go into the second intermission, and I know they came back from 3-0 deficit. I get that. I think that was an anomaly. But I did call it. If you're going to ask Lady Friend, I called that shit. When it got to 3-1, I'm like, Oilers are winning this in overtime. But you can't chance that, especially when you win or go home. It's over. So I think they will come out tonight. I think Connor and Leon will do their thing. And this is I guess there's not a huge flaw with the Florida Panthers, but if I had to like nitpick one of them, is they have trouble closing out series. Like they had trouble closing out against the Leafs. They could have closed that out in Game 6, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Leafs went down there and played a perfect road game and beat them, and then got dump trucked in Game 7. They have, even last year you saw it. I mean, shit, they were up 3-0, and it took them 4 tries to win to win the 4th game. They have a history and an issue closing out series.
Mm-hmm.
So Edmonton's definitely got that going for them. Now, like one of the biggest things with Edmonton, the goaltending. Stuart Skinner is starting tonight. I don't know how, Dennis, you feel about that. Would you rather have Skinner or Pickard in that? At this point, I don't really think it makes a difference because they're both about the same save percentage. I think they're both below 900 save percentage, which obviously is not great. But again, you don't have to be Marty Brodeur net. You just got to make the saves you're supposed to fucking make and make one more save than the other guy. But you give up those softies. That's such killers when you give up the softies, man.
Yeah,
And
because it's deflating for the entire team.
It's so deflating for the team. It's like, just stop the pucks you're supposed to stop. Simple as that. But that being said, again, another great series. Selfishly, I want Edmonton to win tonight because I do want to see a Game 7.
Same.
Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals. I don't think there's anything better than that. I really don't.
Only thing better is Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals overtime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go.
It's the only thing better.
But yeah, Dennis, I agree with you 100%. If you're going to lose, you have to do it with the number one goalie. Dennis, I agree with you 100%. But the way they've been flip-flopping this, this playoffs, honestly, is if you have two, do you really have one?
Right.
You
don't.
It's like with quarterbacks.
Right.
Oh, we got two quarterbacks, but do you really have one?
No.
Yeah.
Well, that is the saying. If you have two, you don't have one.
Exactly. So, and I think these guys, I guess Skinner is de facto number one, I guess. I don't know. Because they're both roughly the same goalie to me. But, again, just stop the pucks you're supposed to stop. It's simple as that. It really is. And then some guys got to step up on that Oilers team and help out Connor and Leon. And I think they'll be fine. I really do. Because you see how deep Florida is. Holy Jesus. Like, even their fourth line, which barely plays, is like, that'd be like a third line on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So, I just want a good game. And then, like, selfishly, I'm hoping for Game 7. So, we'll see how that goes. Now, if the Oilers lose this series, does that in any way, for you, tarnish Connor McDavid's legacy?
I think it's a little early to write his legacy, but it's getting there.
You think so?
I mean, you've got to be able to close out a finals, in my opinion. Like, you have to. Like, Ovechkin was Ovechkin.
Yeah.
But then he won a cup.
Yep.
And then you're like, all right.
You had to win a cup.
You did it. You
Yeah.
did it.
Because, that was always the thing with Yzerman, is you can't win with him. And then he did. And then, obviously, that narrative died.
Right. But you look at all of the big names in hockey.
They win.
They win cups.
They win
or
cups.
at least one.
Well,
You know what I mean?
saw it on Twitter the other day. It was I think it was like from TSN. It said, "Can he be considered the GOAT if he doesn't win a cup?" I'm like, no. You have to have a ring. I'm sorry, you have to have a ring to be considered the GOAT. Well, Barry Bonds. People say Barry Bonds is the best player. No, that's why I don't consider him the GOAT, because he doesn't have a ring. Sorry, he doesn't have a ring. And I know it's different in hockey.
I would say baseball's a little different for me, but
Fair enough.
yeah.
Like, even with like Griffey, that like, no, you don't have a ring. Sorry. But and that's what holds me back with Marino. It's like, if he had a ring, arguably you say he is the GOAT, personally. But
we don't like talking about
I
those.
don't. I hate the GOAT culture, but I just saw it, and I'm like, well, the first thing about GOAT cultures, you have to have a ring, to me. And if Connor doesn't have one or end up with one, which I think he will, I think he'll end up with multiple. But until you have at least that one, I don't think you can even be in the conversation.
And like I said, I think it's too early to write his legacy. Actually, way too early. But nice stop. But yeah, I think if he goes, 5 more years and hasn't won one, 6 more years and hasn't won one, then you're talking some tarnishment.
Oh, that I agree with you 100%.
Dennis says, but they did get to the finals back-to-back with that subpar goaltending and set record for points in a playoff. Hard to tarnish the legacy with that.
Don't get me wrong. He's done everything he can, especially last year, to will the Oilers, despite their shortcomings, especially their goaltending, to win a Stanley Cup. But like you said, years down the road, if he hasn't won one in 5-6 years, and then especially if he gets to the finals like multiple more times and loses, then I think you have to take that into the equation. You really do. It's like we do it with LeBron. You know, like, dude, you're 4-6 in the finals. Like, that is a severe tarnishment on your legacy, dude. You got a losing record in the finals when you're supposed to be, quote, the GOAT. Nah. I don't. That's. No.
It doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't compute.
It does
honestly.
not compute. You know what does compute?
Jason Stiller for Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, have you, I know this is a stupid question, but have you watched any of the NBA Finals? Same here.
That's funny.
Literally have not watched a single second of it because I just don't care.
I actually heard on the radio on the way over here that Tyrese Halliburton was hurt. Got hurt. He's got to get an MRI.
Who should have been a Piston?
Right. We can go back to the shows. And instantly I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
When they drafted Hayes over him?
Killian Hayes over Tyrese Halliburton?
I remember vividly.
I was yelling on this show, and I don't even like basketball.
That was in the apartment, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was. I remember that vividly. When you were yelling about it.
Oh yeah, I was mad.
That is the what?
I was like,
yes,
the what?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I heard that he was hurt, needs an MRI, but he's not going to sit out the next game. And honestly, you know what my thought was? Shit, they're still playing? I had no fucking clue.
Well, it's just like the NHL. These seasons are far too long.
I had no idea they were still playing.
Like these seasons should be over before June. Playing in the late June is absurd. Mm-hmm. Like, well, come on, what the hell are we doing here?
For hockey and basketball.
I know, yes, absolutely. For hockey and basketball, it's far too late, especially when you have a Stanley Cup final in fucking Florida at like the end of June when it's like 1 billion degrees down there with, you know, a zillion % humidity. That ice is shit. I don't care what you do to that ice, it's shit. You know, but and not to mention it's just too long of a season. It just is. Oh, did you see this? You didn't see it. Never mind. Because you're focused on something. You all right there, bud?
Yeah, sorry, I was reading something.
Oh.
I was doing what you were doing at the beginning of the show.
Oh, he can't even read.
All right, what now?
No, never mind now.
Oh.
Like, you have to see it.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, fuck it.
Yes. Yes, fuck it. So, I'm assuming you didn't watch any of the golf, did you?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly. Never mind. Well, I guess let me ask you.
You can talk about it.
Well, I will talk about it. Thank you. So this course they played at was Oakmont. It's one of their like I guess tentpole courses that they play the U.S. Open on. They go there about every 7 to 10 years because it's just a hard course. Flat, even the members they're like, no, this is a really hard course. Like we want it like to be a hard course, and I mean they grow the rough out to like 5.5 feet. 5.5 inches. So it's just like really thick, And these greens are just crazy fast. So the winning score this year was literally 1 under par. And everybody was just having issues with the course. It's because it's a hard course.
Yeah.
Now, then people were bitching, I think this course is too hard. It shouldn't be this hard. I'm like, no. I don't want to see a birdie fest.
Well,
like the Rocket Mortgage, right? That's a birdie
Right.
fest. They just
well, so
give me that.
as a golfer, because I
Yeah.
don't consider myself a golfer.
Yeah.
I have golfed. I do golf, but I'm not a golfer.
Right.
You are.
Yeah.
What would you rather see? Would you rather see professional golfers who get humbled and you look at them and you go, wow, I mean, maybe I'm not as bad as I thought. Wow, even this course is even doing this to them?
Yeah.
Or would you rather see them go out there and just birdie fest it and look every bit the pro that they are, and you go, all right, they really are just that much better than I am.
Well, and it's funny. I like how you frame that because I can take the former, which happened this past weekend when they just got the shit beat out of them.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still see some of the shots that they hit, and you're just like,
which are still
like, there's no way, like,
still amazing shots.
This is why they are professional golfers, because
Right.
they can hit that shot. And I would much rather watch that. Like, these guys get their asses kicked, like, especially during a major, what's supposed to be the hardest major that they play. I would much rather see that than the guys just, ended up at like 25 under par for the week. It's like, that's fucking boring to me. It is.
Right.
It's boring. But and then you see like Rory being a petulant child after, because he played like shit. I think he ended up like plus 10 or some shit like that. And he's just like, he barely made the cut. And then the press was asking him about it. He's like, I don't feel like I should have to talk to you guys. I agree with him on this.
Did Dingler just peg him out at second?
I think he did. They're probably going to challenge it, but which I agree with Rory. He shouldn't have to. It's not mandatory in the PGA rules, so I don't have an issue. Yeah, I don't have an issue with him not talking to the media because, again, it's not mandatory. Oh, he did, I think. Oh, he did get him. Nice.
So, Matt, let's see the tag.
Oh,
he got him.
Oh, he out.
Yeah, he got barely, but he got him.
Yep.
That's a nice throw.
But it's just like, dude, you just won the Masters. Like, what are you so angry about? I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you just finally completed the career Grand Slam, and now you're acting like a petulant child. What's wrong with you? I don't get it. But anyways, do you got anything you want to discuss?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We can do today in sports history.
Done. I love it.
All right. We
Yes.
did this last week.
We did.
I think
I love
we should just continue to do this even through football season.
I love it.
Today in sports history.
Oh, wait a minute. What's the date today? 17th?
June 17th.
It's I believe the 31st anniversary of the OJ chase.
So it is 1994.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson drove his Ford Bronco
Yeah.
across Los Angeles with police in pursuit and millions of people watching.
That
on
30
live
for 30
television.
is fantastic. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Watch it. It's really good. The way it's done.
So I've seen a lot of. I don't know why I'm into it, but I've seen a lot of the O.J. Simpson stuff.
yeah.
Like I watched the one. It was like a 6-part mini series.
Like Made in America, I think.
Yeah. I've watched quite a few docs on it, and it is all interesting to me. I was obviously younger, I guess, living through it. Was one of those things where I remember it, and then hearing and seeing all the things that I didn't see and know then.
Yeah.
But I watched it all unfold.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's interesting.
Well, it's like I said, the 30 for 30 on it. It's not just about the chase. It's about everything that was going on that particular day.
Oh, okay.
Like you had the NBA Finals going on.
So I saw that, but I didn't watch it.
watch it.
I do know what you're talking
Oh,
about. Yes.
I just love how they did it. They didn't.
Yeah.
There's like no narrator or anything. It's just like all news, like how they did it, how they handled the shit behind the scenes, and it was fucking great.
That's all. I'll have
It
to
was
watch that.
Really good.
What's it on?
It's on ESPN
Is it?
Plus.
It's okay.
Yeah. Let's go to 30 for 30 and type in September. It's literally called June 17th, 1994.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, can you name anything else?
No.
Okay. 1995, a year later, the New Jersey Devils set an NHL playoff record with 9 road wins.
It's impressive. And they won the Stanley Cup that year.
They
They
did.
swept the Red Wings.
They did. Let's see. 2012, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the Michigan International Speedway. It was his first win in 4 years and 143 races.
God, talk about such an overrated driver.
Yep.
Jesus.
It's because
Yeah, we know why.
what was before the junior.
We know why.
It's because what was before the junior
yes.
is Dale Earnhardt.
we know why.
In 1960, on this date, Ted Williams hit his 500th career home run.
Arguably the best hitter ever. Arguably.
Yeah. In 1976, it was announced that the NBA and ABA would merge. That announcement happened in 1976. It's been slowly downhill since then.
Dude, it's wild to me that like NBA games used to be on fucking tape delay. That's wild to me. Because it was such a terrible product. That and there's other reasons, but racial reasons.
What?
Yeah. But
Racial reasons.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird, man.
yeah, I know. It's crazy.
You know what's not crazy?
I don't.
Calling up a Joe Wright group.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they're pretty good at what they do. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 3 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, and Shane Wilson a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
It's not his fault he can't read.
Hey, I thought I read that pretty good.
You did. It was just the first button I clicked.
Yeah, I thought I did pretty well on that. Come on, now.
No, you did.
Yeah.
It was the first button I found to click, so it was my fault.
Nice.
One thing I kind of want to go over is I was thinking about NFL, and we're coming up on, we're getting close to August, right? Mm-hmm. Close to August, which is when football season kind of starts to, like, end of July, beginning of August.
when it takes over.
You start to talk about it, and it starts to slowly take over everybody's thought process, right?
Yep.
We've stayed away from it. I give us credit. We've stayed away from the NFL since the draft, basically.
Yeah.
Right? We really haven't talked about it. But I wanted to do something today, kind of fun, just with the NFL. And it's the 10 worst trades in modern NFL history.
Oh, good Lord. All right.
And basically, this comes up, and for me, it's where do the Browns Deshaun Watson trade and deal rank?
think
Right?
it has to be number one,
Where does it
doesn't it?
rank? Right?
It has to be number 1, right?
In my opinion, I think it has to be. But let's go down the list here.
All right.
And we'll kind of discuss it a little bit. So number 10, the Carolina Panthers trade up for Bryce Young in 2023.
What'd they give up for that?
So the Panthers got the number 1 pick,
Yeah.
which was Bryce Young. The Bears got wide receiver DJ Moore.
Okay.
2 first-round picks, including number 1 overall in 2024, which was Caleb Williams, and 2 second-round picks.
What'd they turn those picks into?
It doesn't say here. Let's see. The Carolina Panthers got desperate for a quarterback in 2023, traded up. However, Young really struggled as a rookie. The Bears used it on the highly touted Williams. Williams had a solid rookie season. The Bears also got 2 other starters on offensive tackle, Darnell Wright and cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. And they still have a high second-round pick this April.
Okay. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that the Bears won that trade.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
To me, it was clear that the Bears won the trade when
I remember when we were doing the draft that night.
they got DJ Moore in the trade along with all those other draft picks.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, well, they basically mugged them.
Yeah.
Brett Favre to the Packers in 1992. The Packers got Brett Favre, and the Falcons got a 1992 first-round pick.
See, that one, there should be. Nobody knew what Brett Favre was going to turn into.
Right.
It's like when the Tigers traded John Smoltz. They didn't know what John Smoltz was going to end up being.
But that's the point. You don't know before you make the trade.
Right.
So obviously you don't know, but once the trade is done and it plays out, then you can judge the trades, right? Like you can't really judge a trade in the minute. You know what I mean? There was a ton of people, not me, a ton of people that thought the Deshaun Watson trade was a smart move. But
you were racist and didn't think it was a good trade.
I was very racist at the
I
time.
didn't think it was a good trade.
I didn't
Right.
because
Yeah.
at that moment in my life,
Yeah.
I was being racist.
Of course. Yes, because that's logical.
It is. Absolutely.
Very.
You've known me for how many years now? Once a year for about 5 days. I'm a complete racist. It just, we never know when it's going to happen through that year. It's once a year for 5 days.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's like a horror movie. You know what I mean?
really
Like
is.
once a year for 5 days.
It really is.
And I don't see it coming either. It just happens.
It just happens.
And then once the 5 days is up, I'm back to being normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right. Next.
the number 8 one, Marshall Falk to the Rams in 1999. The Rams got running back Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
The Colts got a 1999 second and fifth round pick.
Yikes.
That's a rough one.
That is a real rough one. See, a trade like that, that's, you know exactly what you're trading.
That's a rough one.
You know exactly what you're trading.
Well, and that basically came about because the Colts didn't want to pay Marshall Faulk, is what it was.
When
really.
in that era, the running game was huge, and you didn't want to pay him?
Well, so I mean, he only spent 1 year there. So all right, in hindsight, Peyton Manning Marshall Faulk partnership now sounds amazing, right? Faulk was a promising young star.
Yeah.
The Colts, with 2 Pro Bowl appearances in his first 5 seasons in Indianapolis, Manning, the first pick in the 1998, was considered one of the top quarterback prospects. But after just 1 season together in Indianapolis, the Colts shipped Faulk. So Manning was there just 1 season. They shipped Faulk to the Rams. And obviously, it formed the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner, and
The Rams could have been, or the Colts could have been a dynasty. If they had kept him.
They ended up getting Edgerrin James.
Fair,
The Colts
which-
drafted
Hall of
Edgerrin
Famer.
James.
Okay.
Right. The Colts drafted
but-
Edgerrin James right after that.
But that's the thing, like Marshall Faulk in that offense with Peyton Manning, it would have been like the greatest show on turf. You put him with Reggie Wayne, and oh my
it would
god,
have been pretty fucking amazing,
dude.
right?
Yeah, that's a terrible trade.
That's a bad one.
Yeah.
All right.
And Marvin Harrison, Marshall Faulk, and Reggie Wayne with Peyton Manning throwing, dude, that would have been ridiculous.
Here's the Colts involved in another one. The Colts trade first-round pick for Trent Richardson in 2013. So the Colts got Trent Richardson. The Browns got a 2014 first-round pick. Just more than a year after the Browns drafted Richardson, 3rd overall, they shipped him into Indianapolis to share a backfield with young star quarterback Andrew Luck. Richardson rushed for 11 touchdowns as a rookie, but only 9 in the next 2 seasons combined. He had just 6 total in Indianapolis, rushing for only 977 yards in 29 games. The Colts waived Richardson in March of 2015, and he's not played in the NFL since. The Browns got a prime asset back, but they traded up with that pick to select quarterback Johnny Manziel.
Oh.
So,
Yikes.
as much as I like to say the Browns won that trade, I don't think anybody won
I
that
don't
trade.
think anybody won that trade. That was bad.
So,
That's just bad all the way around.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
The Saints trade number 6. The Saints trade entire
Yep.
draft
For
for Ricky Williams in 1999.
Yeah.
So
Ditka was so proud of that when he did that.
the Saints got Ricky Williams. Washington got every Saints pick in 1999, including the 12th overall and a first-round pick, 2nd overall, and a 3rd-round pick in 2000. So they got every pick in 99. They got a first-round pick, which was 2nd overall in 2000, along with a 3rd-round pick.
I cannot believe a GM or an owner, for that matter, let him fucking do that. Like, I don't care who it is. No, you cannot give up your entire stock of draft picks
Right.
for a one fucking player in the NFL. That's just absurd.
He played just 3 seasons for New Orleans
Yeah. There you go.
before being traded to Miami in 2002,
Yeah.
where he did kind of realize his potential.
Yeah, he
And-
was good as a Dolphin.
He ran for a league-high 1853 yards in 2002.
He was high all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been legal. Who cares? But
Agreed. Yep.
Washington got some great players thanks to the deal, including future Hall of Fame cornerback Champ Bailey, 2 Pro Bowlers and linebacker LeVar Arrington, and offensive tackle Chris Samuels.
Yikes.
But Washington didn't have much team success despite those additions.
Fair. And then it led them changing their name to something stupid like the Commanders.
The Commanders, yep. And now they're having success, kind of.
Weird.
Yeah. I think the owner was the problem there.
I would not disagree with you on that.
Steve Young to the Niners is number 5 in 1987.
Because he was a Buccaneer, right?
Yep, the Niners got quarterback Steve Young. The Buccaneers got a 2nd and a 4th round pick in 1987. The Buccaneers made Young the first pick overall in 1984
So they
supplemental
played in the
draft.
USFL, right?
Yeah, he was in a supplemental draft. So
But I think that's a bad one because you kind of knew what you had there. You know? To me, that's a bad one. You kind of knew, that's why the thing with the Favre thing was like, I don't think they knew, you didn't kind of know what you had.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve Young, like, he showed it in the USFL. Like, Duke could sling it.
right, but they They traded Young, in part because they drafted quarterback Vinny Testaverde with the first pick in the 1987 draft. So they basically chose Testaverde.
Vinny won a Heisman, right? I think he did.
I think he did, actually.
Yeah, I think he did.
Young then backed up Montana.
Yeah. Then they traded it. Montana.
Learning
Kansas
from one of the
City.
best, Montana ended up getting traded to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Young's history is written from there.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple ahead of that one that should have bounced in front of that one.
I agree.
Russell Wilson to the Broncos in 2022. I think we all laughed at this one when it happened.
How many times have we hammered this fucking trade?
Yeah. The Broncos got quarterback Russell Wilson and a 2022 fourth-round pick.
Yeah.
The Seahawks got quarterback Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive tackle Shelby Harris, 2 first and second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick. The Deshaun Watson trade wasn't the only big one involving a quarterback in 2022, which we haven't even gotten to that one yet. Let's see. The Seahawks gave up the 5th-round pick in 2023, a year after getting the 9th pick. Those 2 picks became quality starters in offensive tackle Charles Cross and Devin Witherspoon. Seattle also got Boy Maffei. I don't know who that fuck that is. I don't know. Derek Hall with
Boy
the
Meets
2nd-round
World?
pick. So it doesn't look like Seattle really got much out of their picks, but that was just bad. But the Broncos willingly took on the $85 million in dead cap to release Wilson after the 2023 season.
Jesus.
Number 3.
That was the Giants' problem.
The Bills trade the pick that became Patrick Mahomes
Yep.
to the Chiefs in 2017. Did you see that one coming?
Yep. Sure did.
The Chiefs got the number 10 pick in 2017, Patrick Mahomes. The Bills got number 27 pick in 2017, a 2017 third-round pick, and a 2018 first-round pick. Basically, this started the Kansas City Chiefs dynasty.
I guess.
After sitting all but one game in his rookie season, Mahomes became the most dominant quarterback basically since Tom Brady, winning 3 Super Bowls, 2 additional AFC titles, 2 MVPs, all before the age of 30. Things have worked out well for the Bills. They drafted their own quarterback, franchise quarterback, in Josh Allen a year later.
Yeah.
They used the 2 first-round picks to select Pro Bowlers in quarterback Tre'Davious White and linebacker Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah.
So I don't really see that one as being number 3.
I don't think this should be even be on that list.
I think it could be up there because of how great Mahomes turned out to be, but it shouldn't be at 3.
I'm like,
Shouldn't be at 3. It may be at 10.
Yeah.
Maybe at 9. There's a lot of those other ones I would move ahead of that one.
Yes.
Number 2, Deshaun Watson to the Browns.
This is number 2?
I'm anxious to see what number 1 is.
I am very anxious to see what number 1 is.
The Browns got Deshaun Watson, who they signed to a 5-year, $230 million fully guaranteed contract. And they also got a 2024 6th-round pick. So good for them.
Yeah, all right.
The Texans got 3 first-round picks, a 3rd, and 2 4th-round picks. Let's see. While plenty of people will call this the worst trade of all time, it's unquestionably the worst contract of all time. Watson's fully guaranteed contract has the Browns in a salary cap bind in 2025 to the point where, despite Haslam's comments, Watson will be on the team this season. The Browns can move on from him and save money by cutting him after June 1st, but the damage of not having first-round picks the last 3 years can be seen from them having the 2nd pick in this year's draft, obviously. The Texans, they didn't draft quarterback. As for the Texans, they didn't draft quarterback C.J. Stroud with a Browns pick from the Watson trade, but they used those picks to draft players like Tank Dell, who now is dead. Not officially,
But yeah, that was that injury is.
yeah, Will Anderson.
Yeah.
And, Houston's won 2 playoff games since the trade, including one versus the Browns, which is ironic. And in my opinion, they clearly won that trade.
Yes.
Can you guess what number 1 is?
I can't.
The Vikings get Herschel Walker from the Cowboys in 1989.
Okay, yeah. It's
Once I saw that Deshaun was that one, this is the one.
I mean, that one actually kind of makes sense though, because like the picks they got for Herschel Walker. I mean, you know who they turned out to be, right?
I don't remember, actually.
Look who it turned out to be.
Okay, so the Cowboys got 3 first-round picks. Oh, yeah. Well, didn't it turn out to be Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, and yeah.
Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So three second-round picks. They got 3 first,
Yeah.
3 second, and a third, and a sixth. And 5 players, mind you. The Vikings got running back Herschel Walker, 2 third-round picks, and a 10th-round pick, because in that era, they picked 10 rounds in the NFL draft.
That's a lot.
So it says here, while the Cowboys started to get the pieces of their 1990s dynasty together in 1989, when they selected Troy Aikman first overall, the Walker trade sped up Dallas's timeline. Okay, so the trade was not only the largest in NFL history based on players, but no trade shifted an NFL's landscape more than this one. The Cowboys were 1-15 in 1989, but used the picks from the Vikings along with a slew of trades to built a team that won 3 Super Bowls in 4 seasons. Among the players they got with the picks from the Vikings included Emmitt Smith, Russell Maryland, and Darren Woodson. There was no question how much the Watson trade has hurt the Browns heading into the 2025 NFL Draft. It's clearly one of the worst trades in modern history, but because of what the Walker trade did to the Cowboys, it hits the number 1 spot.
I really can't disagree with that, honestly.
I can't either.
Like you basically just like gifted a team a Super Bowl with that trade.
Yeah. Several of them.
Yes. Multiple Super Bowls, yes. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I can see that being number 1. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Speaking of number 1, you know who's number 1 on my list of bars to go to hang out at and watch some Tigers baseball?
Tap and Barrel Grill.
The number 1 baseball team in Major League Baseball right now. Tap and Barrel Grill in Shelbytown. I was going to say that, but I was going to say it, but I didn't want to irritate you too much right now.
No, I love it. It makes me laugh. Every time somebody says it, it makes me laugh.
Tap and Barrel Grill in Shelby Township is one of the newest sports bars in Metro Detroit. They have an upscale sports bar which features over 40 craft beers on tap, handcrafted cocktails, a delicious scratch-made food menu, and an amazing patio which was voted best in Macomb County by Crane's Detroit Weekly. The comfortable feel, attentive staff, and fine dining food options make it a must-visit spot for sports fans and foodies alike. Whether you're wanting to watch the Tigers game or when it comes down to football season, watch a big Lions game, or you're just looking for a great meal, Tap and Barrel Grill has you covered. Tap and Barrel Grill, visit them at 50055 Van Dyke Avenue in Shelby Township, or go to tapandbarrelgrill.com.
Nicely done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So,
The Tigers right now are losing 3-2.
yes.
What do you see being their biggest obstacle going forward in the season?
The biggest one?
Yeah.
Pitching. As simple as that, pitching. Whether it be starting or bullpen, it's going to be pitching. I think it's going to be their biggest obstacle.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, because you've already lost one of your starters. Casey Mize, he needs to get his shit together. You got Skubal, who's been just,
I mean, he is who he is.
Best pitcher on the planet. Like, let's face it, he is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, your bullpen, not as good as well as last year. That pitching chaos thing, I don't think is going to work again this year like it did last year. You got to solidify your pitching staff, period. And I think if you don't do that at some point, you're going to have trouble. It's nice that you build a little cushion here, with the division lead.
They have.
But moving forward, I think they have to definitely get some more depth within the pitching staff.
So what at the trade deadline?
Yeah.
Now let's go top 3 things in order of what you want to see them go after. What will be number 1 for you?
Like either a closer or like a 7th, 8th inning guy that can just like a guy that can pay that man. You're right, Dennis. Pay that man his money for sure. A dude that like a swing and miss guy.
Okay.
Not this dude that pitches a swing and miss guy that can miss bats. Like 1 or 2 of those guys, you're fine, and then you can figure it out when they get here who pitches where 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever. That you're obviously going to need another starter. You know, because your actual rotation now is kind of fucked.
Right.
Pay that man his money.
Yes,
There you go.
pay that man his money.
Yeah, talking about school. Absolutely.
And then obviously, like we talked about earlier in the show, like they need a bat.
Yep.
They need a bat. Again, I don't care if it's left-handed, right-handed, doesn't matter to me. But a guy that can drive in runs and hit the ball over the fence. Because in the playoffs, you've seen it. It's what wins. Home runs win. They just do.
It matters more in the playoffs than it does.
It
during the
does.
regular
Home runs
season.
win.
And as you can see, even against Cincinnati, one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball, they lost the 3-game series to them. So, you know, if you get into an early playoff round 3-game series, you could be the better team and still lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think the bat for me is number one.
That's fair.
I would love to see them go after a bat, number one. I think we agree on the other two.
Yep.
For me, it's the bat. I think if they had another power bat in there, you add a guy who has a solid OPS,
Yep.
and you can win some of these games that you haven't won, which is amazing to say when you're leading Major League Baseball wins, right? But some of the losses they've had could have been averted by having another bat. In
There's
that
just
lineup.
been a couple of those losses. You're watching the game, and it was a game against the Orioles. And as soon as it was like 3-1 Orioles, I'm like, this game's over. You just saw it.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how the game was going to play out. It's like they're not going to win this game. They can't. They're not hitting.
Yep.
You know, it was weird. It's just how that works out. But yeah, definitely a power bat because again, you see it in the playoffs, man. Home runs win. It's simple as that. Home runs win.
Yep.
So I think those are the 3 things they got to do. Simple as that to me. So, anyways.
Yep. I don't disagree with you. Anything else for the day?
Yeah. Before we bounce, who you got tonight? Oilers or Panthers?
Panthers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oilers. You're seeing McJesus tonight.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're seeing McJesus.
I hope so.
Tonight.
For the same reason you hope so.
You want Game 7?
I want Game 7.
Yep.
I'm selfish. I want to see Game 7.
I want to see. I want to see McJesus.
I would like to see Edmonton win it. I would like to see him get the monkey off his back and just win one now, get it over with, and move on with his career and try to get more, obviously. But
Yeah.
you know, let's get the monkey off the back, right?
Yep. They said I want to see McDavid go God mode tonight. Let's see it. Get Game 7 in Edmonton. That place will be rocking. It'll be great.
Yep. And
Game
then
7 Friday night. Yeah, let's go.
And then Dennis did go back to our other conversation, or at least he commented, and we didn't see it till now. But he said they go from scoring a ton of runs one game to can't hit the ball the next game, and that is a problem.
Like lately, especially last month or so,
Right.
that's kind of been an issue. So
Right. Well, and you see some of those games, right? They beat the Reds 11-5, lost 11-1 the next game. You know what I mean? Right? Like, you know, they win a game against the Orioles, they lose 10-1, then they win another game against the Orioles, and yeah, I mean they go from scoring a ton of runs to scoring no runs. You know, they beat the White Sox 13-1,
Yeah.
and then they lost 8-1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like it's Dennis is exactly right. They go very hot and cold, and I think if you add another bat in there, another protection for that lineup, you know, some of those cold streaks don't happen.
I concur.
So, yeah, let's just hope for a good hockey game tonight. And honestly, I think the Panthers will win, but I'm hoping for a Game 7 because, like you said, there is nothing better than Game 7 NHL Stanley Cup Finals.
Oilers 4-1.
Panthers 4-2.
Oh, all right. Empty netter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Yep. All right. Give us a like, a share, and a follow on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out SOTDET.com. Click on shop, buy some stuff. While you're there, click on our sponsors' logos and give them a visit, a like, a share, and a follow, and patronize them. We appreciate them. SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey, you
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.